2007, 35-year-old Eva Wisniewska was a member of the German national paragliding team. Eva had competed in 10 of the world's biggest paragliding competitions, and she had won 6 of them, making her the top female paraglider in the world. On February 24th of that year, Eva was preparing her gear alongside 200 other paragliders on Mount Bora in New South Wales, Australia. This was Eva's last training opportunity before her first major competition of that year, which was scheduled for the next week. One of the coaches made an announcement. He said storm clouds have been spotted to the north. Eva decided that she was going to do it. The rest of the German national team, they didn't want to take the risk. And so strapped into her glider, she took a good run forward and launched herself up into the air. On the ground, the rest of the German national team followed in a van to track her progress. The first part of Eva's journey was incredibly calm. 2 large thunderstorm clouds appeared in front of her, one larger than the other. Eva and the other 2 people she was with, which was an Austrian team member and a Chinese team member, began aggressively flying around the outside of these clouds when all of a sudden the storm completely changed. The big cloud overtook the small cloud, creating this 12-mile wide cumulonimbus cloud that now all 3 paragliders were stuck inside of. The Austrian man was able to pull down on one toggle, point his feet, and begin spiraling all the way out of the grasp of this updraft. And he said he turned to look at the other 2, and he didn't see the Chinese man, but he did see Eva, and she was desperately trying to do what he was doing, but she was clearly caught in the updraft, and he watched her get pulled up into the black cloud out of view. Inside the cloud, the storm was lifting her at a rate of 60 feet per second. And at some point, Eva reached the eye of the storm where it's pitch black and the temperatures are freezing and hail balls the size of oranges are pelting her. And the updraft kept pulling her higher until she passed out from a lack of oxygen. And at some point, this updraft actually shot her up and out of the cloud. She was now in air that was 50 degrees below zero, which meant everything completely froze. But somehow, she didn't die. She just kept floating around above this storm cloud for 45 minutes. The ice on one side of the glider broke off, causing it to collapse, throwing her into a deadly free fall. She clears the storm, and then right after getting out from underneath it, her glider miraculously just opens back up again. And the jerking motion jolted her awake, and she was able to reach up and grab her toggles, and she was able to fly herself down to the ground, grabbed her radio, and she called her team. When they heard her voice, they could not believe she was alive, because the other paraglider, the guy from the Chinese national team, he unfortunately was struck by lightning and was killed. When they brought her to the hospital, they discovered that virtually nothing was wrong with her. She had some pretty bad bruises and cuts from the hail, and she had a little bit of frostbite on her face, but it was treatable. After leaving the hospital, she and her teammates went back to the launch site, and when they got there, she looked at her GPS. The screen showed she had reached an altitude of 32,634 feet. To put this in perspective, is the same altitude you fly at inside of a commercial jet. No human being had ever been that high unprotected and lived to tell the tale until Eva.